Mitch from PickDogs.com here with Steve Monahan. He's having some camera problems, but there he goes from Newport, Rhode Island. Or is it Newport?
We're in Westerly, not too far from Newport, though.
Same shit, different day.
Same shit. The ocean's right to the right here.
Anyways, this is our football free-for-all show. Sorry about the delay. I was on the phone with my lawyer, and then I just forgot how I was getting Steve into these Skypes properly to do the show. But now we got it all squared away. Got plenty of time and got plenty of free picks. Of course, we got a full card of college football action. We got a full card of NFL action. We got college. We nailed the college football last night. NC State and Louisiana Monroe. No problem in the whiteout last night. And we had Appalachian State. So, all right, I'll say it. We're on a heater. Anyways.
And we had the Patriots in the NFL last night.
Had the Patriots in the NFL. And there are people out there that say that I never take the Red Sox and I never take the Patriots. There you have it. I took them. Right. You know, I take the Patriots. I take them when the value's there. But it's like you give me the points with another team and too many, I'm going to take the other team every time. Absolutely. Give me the Buffalo Bills at home and touchdown all day. Anyways, we're going to do this show free-for-all style, so all the questions and comments are going to come from our live audience. Going to give everybody a second to join us and get the questions fired up. I don't even see anybody here, so this is going to be a really quick show.
Right.
But, Steve, the Houston Astros, of course, taking care of business yesterday.
Garrett Cole, baby. This guy's a good pitcher.
But number one overall draft choice.
Yeah, Yankees actually, they originally drafted him. He never signed with them. They tried to get him again. He wouldn't sign with them, and now they're going to face him in the ALCS. So that's Game 3, though.
Larry Romanelli, who I grew up with, is here on the show.
Hey, Larry.
Larry, I could tell you the story of Larry's father was a policeman. He used to let us watch the horror movies at his house. This is back in the day when HBO used to have 2 movies a night, and that was the whole thing, right? The Omen was one of them. I ran all the way home with that music in the background. It's like I ran all the way home.
Right. I haven't been friends with a Damien ever since.
Hello to everyone that's joining us. What's up, guys? You got a Team A versus Team B with the point spread. Dallas -7 versus the Jets. Steve, still where you were? Cowboys?
Yep. Best bet of the week right there. That's what I'm going to say right here and now. I love the Cowboys here. Definitely covering, no doubt. Jets are a complete mess. I was just actually offered 2 tickets to the game. I'm up in Rhode Island with my girl, so I'm not going to make the pilgrimage. But it's one of my best bets of the week. I like the Cowboys to rebound. Jets are just, they're the Jets. What can I tell you?
The Jets. Jets. Yeah, I'm on the Cowboys here. I would love to take the Jets. I would love for someone to convince me to find a way for me to take the Jets because the line just seems low. It seems low, but the Cowboys have lost their last 2 games, and that's what makes it, even somewhat more appealing here. That maybe the Cowboys aren't that good, and maybe they can only beat the bad teams. But what do they have in front of them? A really bad team, and no one bashed Andrew Gase over recent years more than I did, and I'll tell you what, this is one of those things I'm going to be right about, and I'm going to continue to be right about, that this guy just simply can't coach. He makes bad decisions. He's an egomaniac, and he shouldn't be involved in any kind of personnel decisions. This is the man that brought you the quarterback trio of Jay Cutler, Brock Osweiler, and Ryan Tannehill. This is the guy. I can win with these guys. I got news for you. You can't. Okay?
No.
You can't do it. And, you got Le'Veon Bell versus Ezekiel Elliott. This would have been, coming into the season, people saw this as a great matchup. With the Jets spending big in free agency and the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott, and, of course, my pick to go to the Super Bowl. But, people are bad-mouthing the Cowboys. They've lost to some pretty good teams. Losing at New Orleans, there's no shame in that. In a
Nope.
night game, there's no shame in that at all. The other game,
Little shame. Little
the,
shame
the, the
for
way
it
that
to get out of hand so early.
it's always tough when you don't get off the bus, and I think that's when they look bad. But Jason Garrett's been around the block before. Oh man, I expect them to come out in this one and play well.
I do too.
So we're both going to stick with our original picks, and that's going to be the Cowboys. I don't love it. I know that I know Steve likes it a little bit more than I do. He's a Cowboy fan through and through. He always has been. Love the Danny Noonan pick.
Not as good as the Shante Carver pick or the Taco Charlton pick.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Bust.
That was the Danny Noonan draft was the John Boza draft. It was the same draft. The John Boza draft, followed by the Eric Kumaro draft.
Well, Danny got a ring at least. At least he contributed a little bit on the D-line.
Go to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, the LSU Fighting Tigers. 13.5 against the Gators. Steve and I were split on this one on Wednesday. I'm sticking to my guns, and I love the Gators in this one. I'm not a Gator fan by any stretch of the imagination. I have a lot of friends that went to the University of Florida. I grew up hating the Gators. I was at the game when Howard Schnellenberger called timeout up 28-3 and kicked the field goal with 3 seconds left to go to make it 31-3. I was at that game. I was at the Emmitt Smith game where Emmitt Smith had 6 yards rushing. Great Hurricane days for me. But
so Charlie Pell is the coach of Florida back then?
Could have been the Give 'em Hell Pell era in Gainesville.
They're in the Howard years, I think.
Yeah, could have been.
Yeah.
But I tell you, the Tigers, Ed Orgeron, he's got an offense, something that Les Miles was never able to do at LSU. And, of course, tons of NFL talent. They got that secondary going.
Yeah. Listen, Joe Burrow really has impressed me. I said this on the show on Wednesday. I actually watched some more footage of him. He makes some really solid throws, man. And I think he's 22 touchdowns. I think he's only got 3 picks. LSU is home. I know it's a lot of points. Florida is obviously playing good football. They got a freshman quarterback. I said I like Dan Mullen. It's 13.5 here. I'm going to stick with LSU, even though it's a lot of points. But I just think LSU with Joe Burrow, I think they can put up a lot of points. And I think the environment for Florida, I think they're ready to trip up. So I'm going to go with the Baton Rouge Bengals here.
I'm going with Florida. Battle-tested coming off of that game against Auburn, who I think could probably beat LSU also. LSU is a good team, a solid team, not a great team. Burrow, he's yet to be really tested, and I think you get that Florida pass rush on him. They're going to cause him all sorts of problems. I think Mullen is the liability for Florida and his play calling, but I think that they even get past that. And I think this was going to be a defensive game all the way. Getting 13.5 points here with the Gators, I think the first to 10 probably wins this thing. And, I'm less than sold on Burrow. I'm less than sold on the LSU running game, which is generally very, very good, and probably why the passing game is working so well this year because they're not leaning on the run as much. But I just don't see it, and I think the LSU defense always shows vulnerabilities, and I think Florida has some burners of burners, highly, highly underrated. Hammond Jr., tremendous talent, and some other guys, but I really love that Florida pass rush against Burrow, and I think they're going to eat him for lunch. I still like the Gators, and 13.5 is just a bonus. I'm going to put a little something on the money line on this game too with the Gators.
Okay, we agree to disagree on that one.
That's a baseball game. Talked about that this morning. Hey guys, new to the channel. I definitely want to know what Dodson Insights Oregon. It's one per customer. So just come back with a question on one or the other. That's Larry saying he remembers that night we watched The Omen. We watched a lot of movies over at Larry's house.
Well, Larry just had to run upstairs to his room in bed, and you had to run down the street.
Everybody did it. The whole neighborhood was there. These were back in the day where we didn't have video games, so everybody hung out by the community pool and smoked weed like normal kids. These are the good old days, you know.
Right.
Right. This is nowadays the kids, they sit around and play war of whatever, in someone's basement, or like even communicate where they're all in their own house and they can play together on the same thing. We sat around the 7-Eleven or the Top Banana, whatever was the closest convenience store of the night, begging whoever walked in to buy us beer. Now that's what kids do. I mean, this is what we do. This is what we do.
All you needed was $3 too.
Yeah. It's like, hey, can you do it? Can you buy us beer? Sure. What do you guys want? I don't know. 4 cases of Bud Light. It's only 3 of you guys. It's like,
wait, I want an 8-pack of Nips.
Mickey's Big Mouth. Maryland -3.5 versus Purdue. This line has been all over the place. Is that really the line? I'm going to take a look and just confirm, because I've seen this line in other places. Of course, I took Purdue last week, getting 28.5. They lost by 28. Looked like Penn State was going to score 1,000 on them, like they did to Maryland. Both these two teams are Penn State's last 2 opponents, so they both have really been messed up. And let's just say Coach Franklin isn't going to be invited for Thanksgiving dinner anytime soon. Hey, if any of you guys, speaking of which, if any of you guys have had a chance to watch any of these ESPN 150 years of college football, these are phenomenal. These are really, I mean, I of course have seen them all 2 or 3 times, the ones that are up. But they talk about the how the offenses have changed through the years, how guys just changed the game. The people that changed the game. My Hurricanes have been on a few of the shows. They haven't been on all of them. Right. The recruiting are some of the best stories you'll ever hear. It's like Woody Hayes is at an Ohio high school game, calls the kids. It's Thanksgiving dinner. He's got 28 people at his house. Woody Hayes says, "Is it okay if I stop by?" He stops by, stays for 4 hours, and eats turkey. Leaves with turkey sandwiches, and he's like, "There's no way my mother's going to let me go anywhere else but Ohio State after that."
That's right. Good stuff, man.
That's how it's done. But it is Maryland 3.5 here over Purdue. The Boilers 1-4, one of the more disappointing teams in the entire country. Quarterback issues, not like quarterback issues that they have guys that can't play. Quarterback issues where they can't keep anybody healthy. Meanwhile, the Terps 3-2. Losses, Penn State was one of them, and the other loss was to Temple in that really odd line game where they were 5-point favorites against the Owls, and the line had dropped considerably in that game. Meanwhile, Purdue, they've been covering some spreads, but not winning games.
No, I like Maryland here. I'll take the 3.5 with Maryland.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Purdue. I'm going to go on the other side. I like the line movement here for Purdue. I like the inverse line movement. I like that only 31% of the public likes Purdue. And if the public is on one side, I like to be on the other because, I just think that the public's generally wrong. I like Vegas. I go to Vegas. I haven't been in a while, and I don't know when I'm going to be back again. But the public paid for that, and I'll tell you, it's doing pretty well. So I'm going to stick with Purdue in this one, based purely on the 31% of the public is on them, and the line has dropped 0.5 point.
Okay.
Went over this one about 10 times already, but we'll go again. Miami against Virginia. So I'm still on Virginia here, and only because I've seen recent Virginia-Miami games. Until Miami beats them, it's going to be hard for me to get off them. But one of the things that I struggled with this morning is someone said, well, they gave up, 52 points last week. The defense gave up, 42 points last week and whatever. It's like, no, they didn't. It's like the team gave up that many points, but the offense had 5 turnovers. The Miami defense only gave up 300 yards in that game. And, it's like if the other team starts with the ball at the 5 or 10 yard line every single game, there's no defense in the world that's going to stop them time after time after time. So, and when we look at the Hurricane games, they've been in all three of their losses until the final seconds. There were games that could have got the buzzer beat field goal by North Carolina. They were ahead on Florida the entire game. And, the game last week where they were down 28-0, came all the way back, tied the game, and then gave up a late touchdown drive. Really, the only drive of the game by Virginia Tech. So I'm not betting this game. I like Virginia here. I'm going to come on at halftime of this game, and we're going to talk about it then. And maybe I'll have an in-game bet. But right now, it's a lean to Virginia, but I am not betting against Miami. That's for sure.
Yeah. I said I think Manny Diaz is due a signature win here. The fact that the Canes are home. Virginia's a good team. I've talked about it. I'm a big Bronco Mendenhall fan. I think he instills toughness. I think Virginia is on the upswing, but the game is in Miami, and I think the spread is enough that I can take the Canes, feel comfortable here. I like the fact that, again, they're home. I think a signature win for Manny Diaz is due.
We have New Mexico versus Colorado State, and in New Mexico +4 against the Rams. This game is tonight also. This is kind of the sandwich game tonight. You have the Miami game, you have this one, and then you have the Colorado-Oregon game. I took the Lobos. I just think they could put more points on it. Colorado State, though, they always look bad at certain points of the season, and then they always turn it around late, and before you know it, it's like they're in the New Mexico Bowl.
Some crap bowl.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, they got to fill the crap bowls with somebody, and Colorado State says they're available.
They're always available, it seems. No, I like New Mexico here too. There's no question.
Got my fancy Costco water bottle here.
Sweet.
This ice that's in here will still be in here in the morning if I keep
it.
If I keep it sealed just right. Got it at Costco.
What is that baby retail for?
They were 2 for $18 at Costco.
Good deal.
I got a blue one and a gray one.
Good.
It's nice for the golf course.
Yeah, I don't like Colorado State in this. I'll take the points.
Both like New Mexico. Then we'll move right along. This is a basketball game. I think he means Falcons and Cardinals. So it's Atlanta versus Arizona over under 51.5. This is that shit game out in the desert.
Big time.
Yeah, double scrub. This is. It's like if I'm Larry Fitzgerald, is this how I want to go out? It's like
he's got to go out soon. I mean, he's got to have a lot of catches. Had a great career.
What's worse, this exit or that days between that the Grateful Dead played at Soldier Field? I mean, I don't know, man. They're both pretty rough. They're both just tough to watch. It's a tough watch, both ways.
I said on the show the other day, I'll stick with the Falcons here. I think with the receiving corps, they gotta get a win.
I just caught a visual of that Phil Lesh unbroken chain on the Fairly Well tour at Soldier. It's set 2 in the final day. I was like, oh man, it's like why? Just why? You want to make sure this is the last show you ever play. You just want to put a nail in it.
Phil will play until he can't play no more.
But not with these guys. He won't.
Unbroken chain aside.
Yeah. It was simply I'm a Grateful Dead fan. Everyone knows I've worn Grateful Dead shirts on the show, and simply
we're both deadheads. We're both deadheads.
It was.
I can't take. I haven't heard his face live ever.
It was. It was gruesome. In a nutshell, there's a reason they didn't let Phil sing for 20-something years. Floyd, I like the over in that Atlanta-Arizona game. I don't think anyone stops anyone.
Nope. I like the Falcons to win, and I also like the over here. I think points in the desert will be aplenty.
All right, we're going to head to Florida State Clemson. Got Tigers in Death Valley. Taj Boyd was on today from Death Valley. I believe he's the guest picker tomorrow on ESPN for the show. Which I've seen that show twice. I'm just not normally that's when I throw on my copy of Rudy, getting ready for my Saturday college football. Right now, these days I do the live show, but almost every Saturday for the last, 15 years or 10 years at least, I've watched Rudy. My wife's sick of it, but I don't care.
Never gets old.
I said this was the first game I've never seen a game from the stands. I thought I was everything. You're 5'0" Yeah, I'm familiar with it. Anyways, Florida State, Clemson. What are you thinking? Clemson like 27 big ones.
Hey, we talked about it. Listen, Clemson, obviously, supremely talented, number one team in the nation. Florida State, off to a bad start, but I'll give them credit. They got very talented athletes. Willie Taggart's job is definitely on the line. Florida State has played somewhat decent football. They're only 3-2, I think, coming into the game. But they got supreme athletes. And I think the fact that it's 27 and a half that last I saw?
It's in that range.
It's a big spread. So, you know what? Because Florida State's so athletic, I can see them covering these points. So I'm going to stick with Florida State. Like Clemson, obviously win the game, but not cover.
I like Florida State too, but this game has inverse line movement, so I'm a little less enthusiastic about it than I was. 59% of the public agrees with us and are on the Seminoles, but the lines moved from 24.5 to 27.5. Larry's saying they've been injured. I think he's talking about the Jets, but I thought he was maybe talking about the cast of Over the Edge from the rec room burning scene at the end that we watched on HBO at his house back in the 70s. Saints plus 1.5. Got to be Team A versus Team B with the point spread. So if anybody's tuning in, they will know exactly what we're talking about. Team A versus Team B with a point spread or a total. Correct? Incorrect. This is the way that it should look. This way doesn't help us. Gase will always remember as Peyton Manning's coffee boy. Okay. Good story. It's a nice story. Florida State versus Clemson, over under 60.
Oh, I can see this. I'll take the over here.
I love the under. I'm going under 60 in this one, Florida State Clemson. I think Florida State's only chance is to keep this a low-scoring game, and I think the defense can run with Clemson.
Okay.
Steve likes over 60. We'll keep moving right along. If the Bears continue going downhill, is it Nagy or the team or the other coaches? Normally it's the head coach. It's the way that goes. You can't fire the team.
Nope.
But you can fire the head coach, and usually when the head coach goes, all the other coaches go with. It's rare.
I don't think Nagy's in trouble. I think Nagy's got a little bit more of a leash here. You're not a Trubisky guy. You know what? I maybe like him a little bit better, but I think he is not really the long-term answer for the Bears. But I don't see Nagy in trouble here. Like John Fox previous was a complete disaster in Chicago, over-the-hill coach type of thing. I think Nagy's got a bright mind. I think the Bears management, and I don't see him in trouble for the next couple of years at least.
I don't think he's in trouble this year, but I think there is some pressure there. I think especially the way that Trubisky's playing.
Every team has pressure. Come on.
You got Danny D. Rock Mahaffey says Burrows throws a great ball. Yeah, because he doesn't have Jabbar Zuniga wrapped around his face. We'll see what happens on Saturday night.
I agree. He throws a great ball. I watched a lot of tape on him this week.
Good afternoon, Mitch and Steve. I love all your commentary on all the games. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
Cal. Team A versus Team B with a point spread. So anybody tuning in would know what you're talking about. Here we go. Indiana versus Rutgers. Minus 27.5. That's not the spread.
I
Falcons,
can't.
we did this one. Michigan State versus Wisconsin minus 10.5.
I still like Wisconsin. I think you like Sparty here. I think Wisconsin and the Jonathan Taylor running machine. I think they'll win by 2 touchdowns. Wisconsin. I think
Yeah.
they're a legit top team, top 10 team in the country.
This
Michigan
one
State
line.
obviously always plays good defense. D'Antoni's team. They've had a couple down years. I think Michigan State's played better this year. However, I think Wisconsin's got a little too much beef. I'll take Wisconsin on that. I know you're probably going the other way, though.
Yeah, I'm on Michigan State. I'm not budging on this thing. I just think that I just think the public hates them so much after last week that I know the line has moved. The money's on Wisconsin. The line has moved. Showing that the money's on Wisconsin from 10 to 10.5. I don't care. I think that we saw Michigan State play pretty poorly against Arizona State, bounce the next week. I think they bounce again here. I like Sparty in this one to bounce back.
Okay. I'm all in on the Badgers.
Chris B, if you have picks, the great place to put your picks is in our Facebook group. I like LSU too. And what kid didn't ask someone to buy you beer in Canadian stores back in the day? You just gave them a note and they sell you smokes. There you go. That's so it's not just the American way; it's the Canadian. It's the way of the world. We're gonna call that. Get out of your parents' basement. Put down the video games. Go down to the convenience store and ask some adult to buy you some beer.
Have an adult beverage. Come on.
Steve stopped by Federal Hill in Providence for some good eats. Mike Reynolds.
All right, thanks for the tip.
Tom Herman is a 10.5-point dog versus Oklahoma. Yes, please. We'll probably live bet it though. Nice live number. Not sure what you're asking there. I like Texas in that one. Steve likes Oklahoma. Eastern Michigan versus Ball State over under 58. We did not go over this game on the show.
I don't know. It could be a penny on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a penny type situation as well. I had to move the penny this morning because
it was under your computer last time.
Yeah, and is this time too. We'll just make it nice and simple. We're not going to sit here and try and figure it out. We'll just go over a little bit of under action.
Yep.
Ooh, that was a good toss. It's an over all day.
Over. Okay.
All day. Over in the Eastern Michigan Ball State. Of course, we have free picks on all these games at pickdogs.com. I've done free pick videos on a lot of these, and Steve and I did a college football show on Wednesday. All that's available on YouTube. But like I said, over at pickdogs.com, we have the write-ups on all of these games. So be sure to check it out. Tell your friends. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit the like button. All that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it. Absolutely.
Yeah, if you have picks, by all means, enter them in the Facebook group. Arkansas versus Kentucky, minus 7.5.
I'm going to stick with the Wildcats here. I know you got the Razorbacks. I'm going to stick with Kentucky.
Yeah, I mean, I switch back and forth, but I don't really know on this one. I hate this game. This is a stinker, and it's like, thankfully, it's up against like the 3 biggest games of the night: Iowa, Penn State, Florida, LSU, and Notre Dame, USC, all at the same time.
Right.
So I'm not even going to give a pick. I don't know. I did a video on it, so whoever I like in the video. Ball State versus Eastern Michigan. EMU minus 1.5. They have not been so good to us as a favorite. Mostly as a dog, we've done well with Eastern Michigan.
Yeah. I'll take them here. I'll take Eastern Michigan.
I'll go with Eastern Michigan in this one, too. I think that they're just the better team. Battle-tested. They always seem to have like the big upset win every year. They got one this year. And they had one, of course, over Purdue last year. Detroit plus 3.5 at Green Bay at Lambeau.
I go to Pack here.
Yeah, I'm still on the Packers, too. I just think that I know the Lions are improved, and they're definitely a better team than I've given them credit for. Of course,
Yeah, they are.
5 games of the season, plus they've had a bye week, right? So, I mean, I put the Lions down a lot. I always use the Lions are the team I always make an example of. It's like kind of like when you watch a Detroit Lions game and nobody seems to know what they're doing. It's like they're my example team, but they have played a lot better than that this year. But I think the Packers have played even better. And Aaron Rodgers, I mean, I bet money on Monday night games, Aaron Rodgers against the Lions. I've had the Lions in that game. And that was the one where he threw the touchdown pass on the last play of the game to Richard Rodgers, the Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, never again. And you know what? I still feel the same way.
Okay. Packer going on the road soon. They've had a shitload of home games, so I think they win out again, and then we'll see what they're made of when they hit the road.
We got Memphis -5.5 versus the Temple Owls.
I like Temple here. We talked about it too. Temple's home. Memphis is 5-0. Temple 4-1. I think it's the atmosphere for Temple here. I think will propel them. I'll take Temple here.
Yeah, I'm going to go Temple too. They're a team that feeds off of momentum. We got Michigan versus Illinois. Illinois laying 22.5, or Michigan laying 22.5 now. This game was at 21. Michigan. They love beating up on the lessers. They just love it.
We talked about it. I think Michigan will obviously win out in this game. I'll take Illinois and Lovey and the points here. Michigan's a better team. They have to play better if they want to get, to a top-tier bowl. I've talked about Michigan. I'm already predicting Harbaugh goes 0-5 against Ohio State in another month. Too many points for me here. I'll take Illinois here. Even though Michigan should win out in this game, I'll take the points.
I'm going to take Illinois as well. I think this is one of those games where it's like Michigan has a chance to cover, and then like Harbaugh does something super conservative, and it ends up being like everyone's mad at him that has Michigan, and everyone that has Illinois is happy with them, and I'll even be happy with them for until I cash the ticket and I'm on to my next thing, and then.
Yep.
Seahawks Browns. Browns getting 1.5 in this one.
I'll stick with the Seahawks. I think the Browns are just not playing good football. Their season is slowly slipping away unless they turn this around. We talked about Baker Mayfield has been holding the ball way too long. I think OBJ is probably going to be a cancer in that locker room like he was for the Giants. The Browns got talent. Freddie Kitchens still a new coach. They're feeling their way out. Seattle, proven commodity, tough defense. I'll take Seattle here.
Yeah, I've been back and forth on this, and right now I'm still on the Browns. I just think that once again, coming off a very public game, that they look just so bad.
They're so bad.
In the NFL, though, teams sometimes when they look so bad, they don't bounce like in college. So I'm still back and forth. Sunday, I might have a different answer for you.
I'll take Russell Wilson any day of the week. Any day of the week, especially
against Pittsburgh. You took Pittsburgh against them.
I got it, but I'll take my chances with Russell Wilson, man, no doubt.
Go to South Bend, Indiana for a night game. They don't play too many night games there under touchdown Jesus. Got Notre Dame 11-point favorites against USC.
I like Notre Dame to win the game, but it's too many points. I think USC, again, rivalry game, one of the most, long-tenured rivalries in college football. USC typically plays them well at Notre Dame, even though it's not your, typical USC team. Slovis is the quarterback. He's coming back. Again, the kid's only had 1 or 2 starts. But I like the points here with USC, even though I'm a Notre Dame fan. I like Notre Dame to win, but I'll take the points USC.
I like USC to beat them outright on the money line.
Wow, okay.
Go to Minnesota. They'll be blowing the horn. Vikings 3-point favorites against the Eagles. It's the first time they played since that NFC Championship game 2 years ago.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the Vikings at home. I think Dalvin Cook is really he's been a difference maker for the Vikings on offense. Cousins is, Kirk Cousins. Is he super special? Not necessarily. He's the worst quarterback? Not necessarily. Vikings got a real good defense. Eagles on the road. I like the Vikes.
Vikes are one of my best bets of the week at this point.
Yep.
Saskatchewan at Calgary. I don't do Canadian football, so I don't know. But I think that
is Warren Moon still playing?
I don't know, but at pickdogs.com, we definitely have this game covered. So let me just take a look, and I'm just going to see who we have at pickdogs.com, and that's who I'm going to give out in this game. So Saskatchewan at Calgary. Let's go. Calgary Stampeders versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders. This game's tonight. Got the Stampeders, 3-point favorites, so the line's moved to 3.5. And Randy is taking the Calgary Stampeders. Those of you that haven't checked out pickdogs.com, you're interested in games like this, we cover every game every day. I'll show you guys even. Well, I can't. Camera's missed. If I do that, I got too many cords on my desk. I'm going to actually move my desk around. So this is one of my projects for the weekend. I'll be on at halftime, and then at some point at halftime I'll be facing this way because all my TVs are on this side of the room, and then my screen is on this side. So like when I do this Monday night halftimes or last night's halftime show, where man did we cash last night right at halftime, and I even said that the total for the second half was 21. I said it's going to be 21. It's all going to be the Patriots, and it was exactly that. But
yeah.
But I don't know. We're going to go with Calgary. We're going to go with Randy's pick. David, do you think Team A, the Rams, bring the 49ers back down to earth? We need the point spread in that thing. Team A versus, just like this. Team A versus Team B with the point spread. Colorado versus Oregon, 21. I've been back and forth on this thing. I'm struggling because I don't think there's going to be a lot of points in the game. I like the under in this one. So I think that Montez is just bad enough that he'll force a defensive touchdown. I think that would give Oregon the cover. I'm going to take the Ducks here.
Yeah, I said on the show 2 days ago, I'll take the Ducks here as well.
A lot of people on this show weren't on.
It's a lot of points, but I think Oregon. I got a feeling they'll have a big offensive night, and if they can get a defensive touchdown, courtesy of Montez, it only helps the cause.
Those of you joining us a little late, we're doing free-for-all Fridays here for football, and basically we're doing we've changed the format. We've been trying different things. That's what we do. It's always a work in progress. Everything I do is a work in progress, including me, including my golf game, including everything. My surfing, it's always a work in progress. And what we decided to give a try this week was do college football Wednesday, just big game hunting. And, it doesn't mean only big conference games, but the big games, like that Temple-Memphis game was covered in that show. Then Thursday, we do all the NFL games. Then Friday, we're doing free-for-all format where all the questions come from you. Every day at 11 a.m., I do the live show where all the questions come from you guys. It could be any sport. It could be anything. We talk about other stuff that's, not even a game pick. We do that. And then we do this show. So, and then also at halftime of the big games and the evening games, the primetime games, the primetime NFL games, or like tonight's Miami game, I'll go live probably at halftime. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, sign up for the notifications, and be sure to hit the like button. It helps us a ton. One comment that I get on almost every single show is, "Hey, Mitch, I'm glad I found you again." So many thousands and thousands of people out there that haven't found me yet. So if you can retweet and do all those other things, man, it goes a long, long, long way. Redskins -3 versus the Dolphins. I took the Redskins the other day, and I'm still sticking with it. I just think in 2 years, the Dolphins will be the pick. Right now, the Redskins are the pick.
Yeah, I'm same with you. I took the Redskins in the crap bowl here.
Yeah, this is someone's is going to go unless they tie, which is certainly within the realm.
It is.
I got Rutgers getting 27.5, 28 in some books. Oh, that was the Rutgers pick. He had it backwards. The Rutgers was -27. That was the issue there. Seattle versus Cleveland, over under 46.5.
Sheesh. I'll go over here.
I love the under. All right. I could see it. I could see it going over. I mean, this could go either way. This is why I don't give out a ton of totals.
As bad as Cleveland was, I mean, they had 3 points on freaking Monday night. They got talent, Chubb, Beckham, Mayfield, et cetera. They got to start scoring points, man. So I can see the over here.
Yeah, I like the under. I just think that Seattle always seems to leave a lot of points, out on the field, and they settle for a lot of field goals, and they're like a 16-14 type team, And
That's a
this
valid
is
point.
why.
That's a
I mean,
valid point.
even it's what makes it so hard. It's like getting points with the Browns at home. It's like this could be 17-16. I mean, it could be 15, and then more of a Seahawks score is 15-14.
Oh, yeah.
And that is
And
a Seahawks
and
score.
they typically win those games.
Oregon, Colorado over under. I don't know what it is. You got to tell me what it is. Just like this. Oklahoma, Texas plus 10.5. I took Texas. Steve was on Oklahoma last we checked.
Fell on Oklahoma. Yep.
Yeah, I like Texas. I like Texas on the money line in this one. I think they beat Oklahoma in this game.
It's always a good game. It's always a real competitive game for the most part.
Yeah, I think Texas wins it.
No, I'll take Oklahoma by 2 touchdowns.
We did this game. Washington -7 versus Arizona.
The inconsistent Washington Huskies.
Yeah.
I'm going Arizona here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Arizona at home as well. But these are the games when Peterson, looks terrible the week before.
And they look like a national championship contender the next week. So
Alabama, Texas A&M over under 61.
I'm gonna go under here.
This is a tough one. I think it could go either way. This game could be a high-scoring game. It could be a low-scoring game. Both figure.
Yeah. I'm going to go under. I can see it.
I'm going to go under. I'm going to go under 61. I think that the Texas A&M Clemson game went under. I think this one goes under too. So I'm here doing live football picks. That's what's up. But thanks for joining us. UNLV at Vandy -15.
Say that again.
UNLV at Vandy. Vandy laying 15.
UNLV's not very good. I mean, Vandy obviously, they're there to go to school and play football. It's too many points for Vandy. I'll take UNLV. They're two, let's face it, these aren't two perennial football powers.
I'm taking Vandy. SEC, this is a must-win game for them. Too many, I don't know what that means. Seattle defense is no juggernaut. They're not bad. I like Cleveland on a bounce back. If you should post that in the Facebook group. We got all kinds of discussion going on about it.
Yeah.
It's one question per person. Air Force -5.5 versus Fresno State.
I'm still riding my Falcons here. I'll go with the Air Force.
I'm on Fresno. I still like Fresno here. Fresno a couple of years ago had just horrific tackling, but since then they've been pretty good. Rams -3 versus 49ers. I love the Rams in this game. This is one of my top plays of the week.
This is my best bet, along with my Cowboys. I like the Rams here. I think the Niners are due to trip up. They're 5-0. They're not going undefeated by no stretch. Rams, they got to start playing better, man. So I'll go Rams.
Baseball. That's the same game that we just went over. Well, we've nailed all the questions here. Basically, we can wrap it up. I'll do the recap. Of course, I'll be back at halftime tonight and then tomorrow at 11 a.m. for my live show that I do every single day. If you haven't had a chance to do so, if you can visit pickdogs.com, take a look. Let me know what you think. It's our brand new website. You can still smell the fresh paint. Got free picks on all the games every single day, even that like Calgary, Saskatchewan, or whatever CFL games. We got all those picks. Thank you for the compliments and comments.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate
everybody.
You guys showing up. Got an extra added here. Georgia -24.5 for South Carolina. I like South Carolina rivalry game.
Yep, we talked about it. Georgia obviously wins this game, but I think it's a lot of points. Will Muschamp is a fiery coach for South Carolina. He'll have him ready to play.
Yeah, so here's the fantasy football comment, right? This is always the fantasy football comment. The fantasy football players always say this. Like, we pick the Rams, and they say Todd Gurley and Aqib Talib are both out for the Rams. So here's the even bigger breaking news story. Everybody knows that, and the point spread takes that into account that these guys are out. The line probably would have been 5 or 6 if they were playing. So it's like when players are out, it's not like the point spread doesn't move and lines don't take that into account. It's in the number. That's in the number. It's like if it wasn't in the number, then the number would move drastically. Or they take the game off the board and reopen it again. But that's, it's a non-factor. And if you think football is not a team sport, then football is more of a team sport than any other sport. Todd Gurley has not been good this year. Not been good.
He hasn't been the same, really, in 2 years now. So Ram fans should be concerned about that.
I could flip a penny for NHL, but this is our football show. Thank you guys for showing up.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember. The penny flip was invented on the NHL because I don't watch it. But I'm going to recap. So
I do.
We both took the Dallas Cowboys. Steve took Maryland. I took Purdue. I'm back and forth on the Miami and Virginia game. Steve's on Virginia. Or Steve's on Miami.
I'm on Miami.
Yep. We both took New Mexico tonight plus the points. Here's one that I can't read. This is Falcons Cardinals over. We both took Florida State against Clemson. I'm a little nervous about that.
I am too. I'm not, it's not a surefire bet, but I just think Florida State's got really good athletes and they can, keep it within a reasonable loss.
I took under 60 in the Florida State Clemson. Steve took over. I took Michigan State. Steve has Wisconsin. We did a penny flip on the over in the Eastern Michigan Ball State war. And the penny says it's over. I'm going to go with the penny. We both took Eastern Michigan in that game. Steve took Kentucky in the Kentucky-Arkansas game. I took a pass. I did a video on it. I can't even remember who I picked in the video, but you can find my video on our YouTube channel. Take a look on it. Click under college football. There's a list, and it's like I did 25 videos this week. That's one of them. So whoever I took there, I'll just stick with that one. We both took the Packers. We both like Temple. Both took Illinois in the points.
Yeah.
I took the Browns. Steve's got the Seahawks. I like USC on the money line, and Steve likes USC with the points. We both like the Vikings. For me, that's one of my best bets. We both took Oregon. I'm a little leery on this Oregon game. I think 20. I think 21. It could be right on the number at 21. So anything over that 21 is probably trouble. Randy is saying we have 57 people watching and 22 likes. If you guys could hit that like button, greatly appreciated. I know if you're watching on a phone, you can't see it, and that's always part of the problem. What you have to do is shrink the comments, and then you can hit the like button, then you can put the comments back up. I should have been saying that before. Normally when I say that during the show, it helps a lot more. I like Texas on the money line in the Red River shootout. Steve likes Oklahoma. Steve took the Atlanta Falcons. I took Arizona for the first time in a very long time. Steve took the under in the Alabama Texas A&M. Alabama Texas A&M. I took the same. I took Vandy minus the points. Steve's got UNLV. I took Fresno. Steve says, let the force be with you, and with Air Force. We both took the Rams, one of Steve's best bets of the day. I like the Rams a lot, not one, too. And we both took South Carolina plus the points against the Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia.
That was a lousy flip. This is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Have a great... No, there we go. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys tonight at halftime of the Miami-Virginia game, and, of course, tomorrow and every day at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Steve will be with us again on Sunday at 11 a.m. for NFL Sunday. Have a great day, everyone.
Enjoy all the football, folks.
Thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for checking out pickdogs.com. And by all means, if you have picks or you want to talk about games, go to our Facebook group. I'll tell you, I'm in the Facebook group all day. I'm out on the golf course. I'm checking the Facebook group and I'm commenting. And I even hit the wrong thing the other day. Someone got mad at me. It's like, it happens, because I wanted to have when you guys argue in the Facebook group, I always put like some kind of hug, like Apollo Creed and Rocky, hugging on the beach or something, just why can't we all get along? And, I hit the wrong button and some guy's going down the slide and all of a sudden, someone is saying some things about me, but whatever. Anyways, I'm going to see you guys tonight at halftime, so be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for joining us. I like the new format, so we'll do it at least another week like this unless I get a bunch of hate mail, which is always a possibility. Anyways, this is Mitch. Thanks for joining me. Steve, thanks again.
Thanks,
Enjoy Rhode Island. Have some lobster and chowder for all of us.
Chowder.
Good chowder.
See you, folks. Bye-bye.